Hello, this is Dr. Jason Munsell. It is about 2:30 Central Standard Time in live here, but not where you are, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in my mother's sunroom. Somebody might call it a Florida room. I didn't know what a Florida room was until I got to South Carolina, which is weird. Which this particular room has become, ever since my niece was born 8 years ago, I can't remember, has become her playroom. And so we've got lots of toys in here, and it is my hangout when I am here visiting. And in any case, so I wanted to get to this sooner, but I've been helping my mom decorate. She wanted to go ahead and get all the 4th of July decorations out. Okay. In any case, I'm going to go through a little bit more of chapter 1. Not all of it. I'm going to try to save the rest of it for tomorrow, even though if this was sort of a face-to-face thing, again, we'd only be meeting twice a week because this is an extended session, but I'm just giving you your money's worth. And also, I have heard from a lot of you, but not all of you, so I hope to hear from the rest of you very soon. Several of you have sent me your Twitter accounts and your Tumblr blogs, and again, I meant to put some how-to stuff. I just haven't had the opportunity yet. And also, ooh, sorry. Oh, come on. Yeah, perfect. Yes, we're talking about new media and technology, and it all screws up. Isn't that pretty? Like what you see? No, not really. I want to go back to my PowerPoint, please. Okay, so more on chapter 1. But in any case, please send me that stuff. I realize, because you all are college students, that when something is due on Sunday, you will do it on Sunday. But my hope is that, and I haven't looked at the threads lately, so hopefully you will get to the stuff. And I know it's all, only week 1, so we're just getting our feet wet here, which is all cool. But in any case, I'm sure there's other things I was going to say as sort of a preface, but let's get the show on the road. More on chapter 1. So far what we've covered, and I said a little bit yesterday morning at the airport, but it wasn't really, in any case, we've talked a little bit about the first part of chapter 1, really just going through the stuff about Walter Ong and the different types of cultures, the oral, electronic, new media, and all that jazz. And so hopefully you got a really good handle on that. All this stuff is just sort of contextual information for us to finally get into understanding what persuasion is all about in our contemporary media age. And so what I'll be talking about today, again, just to help you out a little bit, I mean, ideally you will be also reading this book and not just depending on my little silly lectures to redo the reading for you, but hopefully saying a few things here and there sort of helps you out, but also repetition. When you read something and then listen to me talk about something, you will hopefully remember this very, very important information. A lot of media studies type of stuff here. So I'm going to talk about persuasion and culture, that particular section that starts on page 11, and then just only a few pages there, but lots of rock solid golden stuff. And then tomorrow I'll move to defining persuasion and take us through the rest of the chapter, including persuasion in the media age and all this type of stuff and the objectives for the persuader. So a little bit of chapter 1 today. Finish it tomorrow. Hope you're reading. Let me know how I can help. Okay, so, I like Barbie. If you were in my presidential rhetoric class last summer, I did my favorite online lecture was about presidential war rhetoric. President Obama came out to endorse Hillary Clinton today, which is really interesting news. I'll talk a little bit about some stuff today, but not really. So I have a helper today. Got 2 helpers. Barbies. I like playing with Barbies. This is Summer Barbie. This is Summer Barbie too. We need more diverse Barbies. I don't know. We've got lots of Barbies. Ooh, this Barbie has purple hair. I like this Barbie. This is like a Columbia College Barbie. Look at that hair. Hello. So Barbie, are you ready to help me out with this lecture? Oops. Keep that top on. You know, we gotta abide by Title IX. Yes. Okay. Persuasion and culture. I already said a little bit about this, blah, 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 blah. The Carey definition is really, really important. You need to understand the definition of what culture is. Culture is sort of a shared sense of values, beliefs, whatever, within a given culture, a society. But of course, there's all sorts of different types of cultures. There are culture with a sort of a big C. Oftentimes, the old hat way was the cultured, which is very, very problematic. You go out and watch, opera. Now we watch Oprah. Have you ever seen an Oprah opera? There's a really good musical called Oprahoma. In any case, Oprahoma, where the wind comes right out of her mouth, and the waving fans get vans, and they drive off into the sun. In any case, so the definition by Carey is very, very important because this is the preface to this whole section of persuasion and culture. And of course, what our author here is doing, what Timmy is doing here, is helping all of us sort of understand the whole big thesis of his book, which I've already talked about way back when. Is that the central argument of this book is that contemporary culture presents us with a complex web of influences, many of which we cannot ignore, many of which we do not consciously choose, blah, 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 blah. Persuasion is different today in the new media age. So all the theories from back in the day, even though it's interesting and useful, perhaps it's not the best stuff to learn. We need to learn cutting edge stuff. Yeah! So, in any case, so we need to understand our culture. But again, culture is huge. It's a group of people. That's generally what we tend to think, a group of people. But there's also there's cultures, there's co-cultures. Co-cultures oftentimes, sometimes when we think about culture, we think about dominant culture, dominant values within a given society, like the dominant culture in the United States. We have ideas like individualism, certain religions like Christianity, sort of privilege. Yeah, this is going to bug me. But in any case, you should understand the idea of culture. And there's also, subcultures. People have different interests and all that stuff. It's really complicated. But the idea is from Carey, and that is, where are you, Carey? Common way of perceiving the world. That's culture. Carey explains that communication is a process through which a shared culture is created, modified, and transformed. So it's really through communication that culture is created. So that sort of definition is very important. And this also, a media and the mediums that we use within a given culture sort of impacts those shared values, because since mediums, thus media sort of craft in a way or construct for us our various ways of thinking and everything like that. It constructs for us our values and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I like this last paragraph, last bit of the paragraph, the very first paragraph in this section. I think it's very, very important. You should highlight it in your book, whether you rented it or not. Culture is, at least in part, dependent on the medium of communication that its members use. Because it is so widespread, electronically mediated communication provides members of our culture with a common set of values and beliefs that is transmitted via that media. And we have to understand that stuff if we're going to understand persuasion in the media age. Yeah! So the next thing is media and knowledge. By the way, medium. So lots of this stuff, again, is basic media stuff. If we had a media studies class, this is what you would be talking about or covering. So it's good stuff. Again, Marshall McLuhan, I talked about this at the airport, very, very important guy. It's what you doing, Marshall McLuhan? What you doing, Marshall McLuhan? So the medium is the message. That's the idea. So again, as I said previously, a channel is not just a channel. Channel sort of creates, constructs the meaning in a sense. So everything is contextual meaning, changes and all that type of stuff. I really like the example here that our author gives about music and 4 different experiences, 4 different mediums change the meaning. So can you explain those to me, Barbie? Yes. You could watch me on a television show, on my Barbie show. That would be different than hanging out with me right here. Or I could get my cell phone. I could text you. That would be different. I could write you a letter. But nobody writes letters anymore because letters are stupid. Right? I like to write letters. Boo. So the medium is the message. The medium changes the meaning of things, and which leads to this idea, Neil Postman, of truth. The medium sort of creates our idea of what truth is, and also, and this is unbelievably important, I love the stuff on intelligence. In that paragraph, before we actually get to Postman's observations about media knowledge, it says, truth arises in how we communicate about through particular media. Intelligence is often seen as determining what is true. So it follows, says Portman, that a culture's measures of intelligence are derived from the nature of the media that penetrate the culture. So the type of intelligence that we had back in the day, oral was different, literate different, electronic different, new media different, intelligence, different values, all because of mediums. But in any case, so no Marshall McLuhan, go read that extra stuff. No Postman, read that extra stuff. But here is some stuff about Postman. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. You need to know this stuff because I think it's really, really interesting. I like the idea, just as sort of a summary or something about a preview. His big observations for our sort of media culture. I know this was in the 80s, but the 80s rocked. Yeah. Postman said knowledge in 80 sense, but even more so since the 80s, I would say. Fragmented. Appears in forms most suitable to television. Now, I would say not just television, but new media, the internet. Requires specific processing skills and is produced by invisible technologies. So let's see what this is. The very first thing right here, just so it doesn't go away, we are fragmented. This produces, says Postman, an inferior intelligence. We dumb. We not as smart as those other folks back in the day. So we don't get textualization of any sort of information whatsoever. Everything is sort of images and sound bites, information that is incomplete, even though we have 24-hour news. But they're little tweets. Think of tweets. This is one of the reasons why I'm having you do tweets. 140 characters. Can you offer sort of an historical sort of contextualization of pretty much anything in 140 characters? No way, Jose. Yeah. So, I don't know why she does it now. She just does it. What's your name? Barbie? Well, sorry. I don't know what Barbie this is. I know nothing about Barbies. But in any case. So things are fragmented. They are decontextualized, says Kathleen Hall Jameson. History is used sparingly. People just don't know their history. I mean, it's just everything sort of just a little image, a little sound bite. Look at political commercials. Boom, 30 seconds. Boom. We don't know all this stuff. So knowledge is fragmented. It's not connected to some sort of historical, larger context. It's just sort of a little blip. For instance, and I'm sort of offering you a decontextualization of contextualism. I don't know. So if I were, well, that's actually what the